clients actually do before they call your firm. Naren, it's great to have you back on the podcast, and I'm sure we are in for a fiery one this time around. What do we need to know about our prospective clients actually do before they call the firm? Can you frame us this topic for our episode?
Great question. And thank you for having me today. And I think it's important we take a minute and think about this because I know lawyers are so focused on taking care of clients, of course, winning cases. And yes, they do pay attention to marketing, but they don't really understand the secrets of why some people do really well and others struggle and end up spending
Mhm.
4 or 5 times as much money for very little to show for. So today's episode, I think we're going to unpack, how to dominate, how to excel, how to get into the top 5% when it comes to attracting the right kind of clients to your practice. So I think
Okay.
understanding the journey is a good place to start.
Okay, let's understand that journey one step at a time. When an attorney says, I need more clients, what's usually the first question you ask them?
That's a great question. Usually, when they say I need more client, my question is, do you understand how your clients find you, like you, and choose you, right? I mean, at the end of the day, whether you are hiring an attorney or hiring a doctor or getting somebody to redo your house, same thing, right? First, you have to find them, right? You need to know that they exist, they can help you. Then you need to get to like them, right? We typically don't do business with people we don't connect with, people we don't like. And then finally, we have to trust them enough to give them that project, whether it's a big case or whether it's a remodel, or, I'm a cancer patient and I need someone to save my life. Whatever that goal is, we have to trust you first, right? So getting people to find you, like you, and trust you. And then to answer your question directly, when an attorney says, I need more clients, then I say, okay, now that you understand these 3 steps, let's figure out which of these steps you're doing really well in, which of these steps
Mm.
you're weak in. Because usually think of it like a funnel, right? Water is flowing from the wide end of the funnel to the narrow end of the funnel. There could be a leak in any part of that funnel, maybe the wide end, maybe the middle, maybe the narrow end. Doesn't matter where the leak is, but if there is a leak, water is going to leak out. So instead of getting, let's say, 20 new clients, you're only getting 7, right? The wide end of the funnel. Wide end of the funnel is when people are looking for anything and everything I do, whether it's on ChatGPT or Google or any of the platforms, am I the one they're finding, right? Remember, people don't like to do business with the ad lawyer because they don't trust. I mean, they don't trust you
Mm.
because you ran an ad. So let's say organically they're looking for someone, like, they go to Google because today, instead of asking a friend, we ask Google. We don't want to share with our friend all of our, private challenges. So we ask Google. So when we look for that lawyer, family lawyer, personal injury lawyer, whatever it is, am I finding you for that kind of a situation? Let's say truck driving accidents, if you're a personal injury lawyer, or a family lawyer who specializes in custodies. So you are looking for very specific things. Step one is, are people able to find you? Whether it's on AI overview, I know there's a separate episode, perhaps we can link to it. You will have to pay attention to AI, and I don't want to go through everything we covered there. So whether it's on AI overview on Google or AI mode on Google or ChatGPT, which is another platform, or Perplexity, are they finding you? Are you showing up again and again for anything and everything to do with what you do as the recommended number one choice? So that's the
Mm,
first part
mm,
of the
mm.
funnel. Are people finding you? Now that they're finding you, do they like you? So they go to your website. Imagine you have a stale website that's not updated, or you have a website that looks wonderful on a desktop, but doesn't load fast on a mobile phone, or loads fast, but I don't even know where your phone number is. So I'm hunting around and I'm getting frustrated because I can't get the information I'm looking for. So that's the liking part. You have you won any awards? Those awards feature on the website. You know, um, and then the trust piece, that's where Google reviews come in. Do you get new quality reviews on a consistent basis, paragraph reviews where people talk about how wonderful you are and how much they like you? If you do, then of course that's going to help other people also, trust you, just like the ones who wrote the review. So because remember, they don't trust you because no lawyer is going to say, I suck, please come and sign up with me. They're all going to say, I'm the best, I'm good, I'm this, right? Even the ads are going to say the same thing. But a review from another human being on Google saying this is why they liked you and they gave you 5 star and they wrote a few sentences, that's worth its weight in gold. So are you working on getting those reviews? So once you understand how people go about finding, liking, and choosing you, then you make sure you have components of your marketing machine attacking each piece. Are you getting more and more people to find you? That's the finding piece. Are you getting more and more people to like you? Continuing to improve the website, keeping up with the standards, continuing to make it run fast, following all the guidelines. Finally, trust. Reviews is very powerful. Credentialing, like your awards, are very powerful. So these are all things you can do to get people to trust you.
Hmm. Now, Naren, what does that journey look like in 2026 when a prospective client actually uh, realize they need a lawyer uh, to the point until they're picking up the phone? What does that journey really look like in 2026?
It's a great question. So let's take a particular case. So let's say, um, you know, somebody in my family got hit by a car and serious injury, and we're trying to be
Mm,
reasonable with a insurance firm, but they're just not playing ball. They're just being unreasonable. We are really frustrated. We are stressed out. We need someone to help fight for us, right? That could be in a family law situation, could be business situation. Doesn't matter what it is, right? So you want somebody to fight for you. So usually people will start typing in that particular situation and asking Google, hey, who can help me?
mm,
So that's where it starts, right? So when people start asking these complex questions, are you showing up on AI, on regular search as the recommended answer, as one of the top choices that somebody, the person who has a need needs to look into? So that's where it starts, right? Then they
mm,
go to your website. They go to your website and they're like, well, I like what I see. Up to date website, loads fast, easy to use. I see a lot of other cases like mine. They have won. It talks about the exact case. It talks about how much they have won, and the testimonial from the client. And I see dozens of those people like me who have this particular law firm has helped and made a difference for. Right, that's key. People like me. So you have to focus and you have to get them to the right landing page. Even if you do three things, like if I'm interested in XYZ, take me to a page that helps me choose you for XYZ, not everything else. One of the mistakes I
mm,
see lawyers make is they want to say everything, but they don't realize for that person who had that specific accident, they only care about situations like theirs. They don't care about all your other expertise and all your other strengths. So give them what they want, get them to like you. And last but not least, reviews. Get those reviews and then put it on those pages, the landing pages. If I'm looking for XYZ, those actual clients on Google saying wonderful things and include those and say, as seen on Google, and even link it back to the Google itself. So they know it's real. This is not made up. This is not some lawyer saying something just to get somebody to buy or choose him. Rather, this is real. This is real proof. So those are the things I would pay attention to, and that's kind of how I would think about this. And
mm.
one last thing,
Fantastic.
this is where a
Yes.
lot of people go wrong. I have had terrible experiences. I recently needed a lawyer, and I asked some people, I asked Google, I contacted a few firms. I get an email 2 days later and saying my assistant will get a hold of you. She calls me 2 days later. And of course, who got my business? The one who called me back right away in 30 minutes, because I'm very excited and very stressed out when I'm making that initial contact. Not 2 days later, not 3 days later. So that how do you respond? Ideally you should answer the phone. You should have someone who knows what they're talking to make the client feel comfortable, make the client feel calm, and then get that appointment booked, right? And a lot of law firms don't even do that. Like it's all email and you're waiting around, and the few that get back to you or actually answer the phone and do it well have an unfair advantage. So you could be spending a ton of money on marketing, but if this customer experience, the email, the phone experience is broken, again, you're going to fail. So that's
Mm.
that's that's something unfortunately we can't directly help you with, but we have coaching and other things that we do to help our clients, both with Google reviews and to book those clients and get those clients to come in and see the firm.
Okay, that's a great segue into my next question, which is most attorneys do invest in being found on Google, but what happens if a prospect find them and then doesn't call? They're going off the path that you didn't go on. What if they don't call? What's usually going wrong?
Yeah, I think if they're not calling you, it could be one of two things. One is there are people who are better than you. So let's say they are Googling around and they see you once in a while and they see somebody else all the time. Of course, they're going to go to the one who is really, really doing, who's omnipresent, who's there all the time for what, when they're doing the search. So like, it's not just good enough to just show up for one search term. You need to show up for 100 plus different search terms and phrases. So that gives you an unfair advantage. Unfortunately, our subconscious mind is very biased. When we see something again and again, we think that is the truth. That is the answer, right? I'm sure you've heard this phrase, right? You repeat a lie enough times, it becomes the truth, right? And we have seen that in politics, we have seen that in real life. So are you dominating? Are you the one who shows up again and again and again? So that's one. Second is, like I alluded to earlier, the website, right? If it's stale, like, oh, I was having all these wonderful impressions because I kept seeing you, but your website is stale. It's hard to load. By the way, if your website is stale, it's hard to load. It doesn't work well on mobile. You're not going to rank in the first place. Google will put you in the Google jail and you won't show up. So usually people who do rank do have good websites. So again, all the standards, all the things that Google looks at 3,000 different factors. And by the way, if you please Google, you're also pleasing everybody else because, Google is so far ahead. They're like literally, 95% of the market share when it comes to people looking and finding lawyers. So, if you do well in Google, you're going to do well in ChatGPT. So we do track it separately. Google gives you tools like Google Analytics, so you know how many keywords you're ranking for, what's your position, all of that. The other platforms don't, but we manually check it. We type in those keywords and see which of those keywords our clients are ranking for. And our clients at least rank for 100 keywords on Google, but over time they start ranking for 20, 30, 40 different keywords and phrases and different types of searches, also on ChatGPT and Perplexity. So you want to pay attention to all of them. So that's what I would do, if I were in the shoes.
That's a whole lot of work, Naren. How do you keep up?
I know it is a whole lot of work. We have a team of 300 people. We are broken into 14 teams. 9 of them just focused on the search piece of this, whether it's ChatGPT or Google or all the components of search. And then the other 5 focused on influencing, right? It's not just about making the phone ring. It's also about the website, convincing them to pick up the phone and call. It's also about the way the call is answered and all the metrics and all the systems you have to put in place. So if you work at it, just like anything else, I mean, we know of lawyers who have won, big settlements and have won big victories time and again on a consistent basis, right? From the outside, it looks like luck, but it's not. It's systematized way of doing things in an A+ level every single day, right? That's what it comes down to. So that's what we focus on. And we don't work with all kinds of clients. We only work with doctors and lawyers. So we really specialize in like really understanding these spaces and helping our clients dominate.
Right. Now, reviews. Reviews came up quite a bit of times in our conversation. What does the research actually say about how much influence they have on whether someone calls or not?
Yeah, reviews are becoming more and more important in the world of trust, in the world of AI, because when AI recommends a particular lawyer, people tend to not ask any questions. I've seen this in medicine, I've seen this in law. So you really, really need to get on the good books of AI. So how do you get on the good books of AI? Whether it's Google's AI overview or AI mode, which is the biggest game in town. Google controls 95% of search, or the up and coming players like ChatGPT and Perplexity. You want to make sure that these engines are recommending you. So they're looking at trust factors. One of the trust factors is reviews. Again, how many new reviews you're getting every month. Are they deep reviews, meaning not just 3 stars or 4 stars, but actually paragraph reviews. So the quality of these reviews and the quantity of these reviews matter. So that's number one, trust factor. Number 2 is, do you have the credentials? When you write articles, we write a lot of articles for our clients. Are those credentials mentioned the right way? So Google can easily know that you are a qualified lawyer who has a lot of deep expertise in that particular topic. So credentialing and showcasing those credentials is really, really important. And the last piece is, awards you win, and if you are on TV or if you're on internet, talking as an expert, are those incorporated? And so we want all these search platforms and of course people to see you as someone they can trust, someone who's an expert, someone who actual clients trust. So those are all the components I would work on if I want to totally change the game and get an unfair advantage. The funny thing is, Our clients tell us after a while they used to spend 10 times as much as on ads before they started with us. And in 2 years, their ad budget goes to almost zero because they get same or better results for one-tenth the cost. Of course, this is not easy. It takes a year for you to rank for 100 keywords. It takes a lot of work to really build a website and continue to improve it. But like I have clients from 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Many of them have become friends. And like I like to help people who do a good job, and of course they have good reviews. But at the same time, they understand that we can do something that they're not really good at, which is that marketing component. And we work together as a team. We do everything we can, and then of course they focus on reviews, things they can, and of course sometimes answering the phone is key, and how quickly you get back is key. And if that's an issue, then of course that's the other component we help our clients with.
Right. Now, Naren, for an attorney who wants to understand where their marketing is losing prospective clients before they ever make contact, what's the most useful thing they can do right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to find out how they are doing in these three steps, right? Are people finding you? Not through an ad, but organically. Start typing these search terms. If you are showing up more than 100 times for all the different things you do, on the find piece, you're doing an excellent job. Do people like you? When you go to that landing page, after you click on that search result, does it have relevant information about that particular thing the person is looking for? Does it have reviews? Does it have, is it easy to use? Does it load up on, different devices quickly? Finally, do they trust you? Are you continuing to get reviews, and are you leveraging those reviews on the relevant pages? Are you credentialing yourself with the qualifications you have? Are you, showcasing your expertise, your videos, different things you have done to help others? So these are the components, but I know it's a lot of work. So one of the things we do is we do what we call a marketing strategy meeting. It's a $600 value. So we spend 6 hours studying you and your competitors. And once we study you and your competitors, we can tell you like what's working, like what are the keywords or what are the different searches you're showing up for. How does your top competitors show up? Are they doing better than you or worse than you? If they're doing better than you, what can you do to beat them? We also give you a roadmap to dominate. Like how do you dominate search? How do you dominate, getting people to like you, where people really fall in love with your website and what they see there. And then also putting a system in place to continue to get good quality Google reviews. We do all of that. The link is dominatelaw.com/MSM. And it's our gift to you. Whether you work with us or not, at least get the report card, find out who your top competitors are, find out how you stack up against them, and then get a game plan. Like if you had an year and you could do an amazing job, what would you do? What would you focus on? What are the reasons you're doing well or not doing well? Is it NAB? Is it, Google EEAT? Is it CRUX? All these technical things, we will like unpack it and we'll help you understand what they are and if they are hurting you or helping you. So now that you have that, even if you're working with a current marketing company, share that with them. Hopefully they can fix it and help you dominate. If they can't, we would love to help.
All right. Thank you very much, Naren Arulrajah. Cut. Right. Okay, Naren.
Yeah, sounds good.
Um, Naren, just one last thing here before I go regarding that standardizing the timing. I know you only like to touch things once. Can you please just give me, can you please just give me some time to give you a market analysis
Yeah,
so that we have the data to
yeah. But
make a really risk?
look at all the coasts, right? I mean, remember, America is a wide country. So
Exactly.
we can't just cater to, I understand in some place it's, 10 p.m., but in some other place it's 4 p.m. So just like,
Five.
so look
Yeah,
at both sides of it, right? Because
exactly.
people live across the whole country. They don't live in just the East Coast, right? So look at both sides because don't just say it's 10 p.m. Well, it's 7 p.m. somewhere else, and we are missing
Exactly.
4 p.m. somewhere else, and we are missing the same people, right? So take a look at it and look at the pros and cons because yes,
That's
if
right.
we start at 7 p.m. and they leave at 9, they're only there for 2 hours. But now we are grabbing people from the West Coast we would have completely missed because they're not going to quit work or leave work halfway through and go to an event. You won't do it. Nobody will do it, right? So like they are working throughout the day, at least till 5. So that's why I think that 5 p.m. as the starting time for all three time zones seems to work. Even if you look at American games, I don't know if you watch American, like in the old days, now it's all Netflix and whatnot, but in the old days when we had TVs, they don't start till 8 p.m. Like all the football games
Mhm.
don't start till 8 p.m. Why? If they start at 4, you're going to miss out half of the country. So
That's right.
Americans are used to this idea of starting late, especially the people in the East Coast, because of this, like nobody, like imagine if I'm watching a football game and
Yeah.
it starts at 6 p.m. and it's 3 p.m. I'm not going to watch
Mhm.
it. So all the revenue
No.
from advertising and everything is gone. I can't do a replay because I've already know who won, who lost. So like you have to be real time.
That's
So they start the game at 8 p.m. Like if you look at most sports in the US, even like shows like Oscars, like everything, they don't start till 8. That's because it's 5 p.m. in the West Coast. You know what I
right.
mean? And people are used to it. Americans are used to it, right? Because they know you know, like when you are doing events and stuff or doing these kind of things. So don't you look for the generic AI nonsense. Like if you're going to do research, do hard research where
It's hard
how,
research.
yeah,
I
maximizing
just give me like
people.
2 days.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give you a hard research,
Yeah.
a
And
bit of
look
an
at our
analysis,
objective, right? Our objective is to get people from
maximize it. And I think
yeah,
there are two parts
West
there because
Coast,
like the
Central,
timing
yeah,
and capturing like the other territories because I think
yeah.
we are not utilizing that aspect
Yeah, right.
whatsoever.
Right now, I think all of our customers are coming from the East Coast. You know,
Yeah.
they're not getting people from the West Coast.
We
Uh,
aren't even promoting anything relevant to the West,
I mean, the same
even just
thought,
like
just that because of timing, we don't, get them. Like it's 3
exactly.
p.m.
So
So they
there is
don't
that
show up.
aspect. And I think like I've also uncovered a bit of a issue with our communications to our panelists themselves too. That's the one
Yeah.
I was going to bring up in the meeting because I've read through the emails that our
So start
POs.
fixing it, right? So come back and say, guys, this is what we're going to do. Like you're going to be the czar for maximizing, events to drive results, right?
Yeah,
So come back and
yeah,
share your
yeah,
ideas.
of course. So just let me give you a little bit of an analysis, then you can approve it. I'll take it, as the as the Bible
Yeah,
and
yeah. Sounds
spread
good.
it
Yeah.
around.
Sounds good.
All
Okay.
right.
Sounds
All
good.
right,
Yeah. So
Naren,
in
take
our
care.
meetings, you can bring it up maybe tomorrow or day after when you have
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yes.
And if you need to do
Take
one-on-ones
care.
because I don't want to like argue or do say something that
No, no, no.
so just book a 30
Yeah.
minutes. We can have a chat. If it's something.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.